Together?
A little bit. That's all right.
What do you see in State's offense this week?
Well, the first thing you notice is the quarterback and the running back, but I think they got weapons everywhere. I like the tight end, Malcolm Johnson, I think it is, and the receivers, and they're where they're at for a reason. They're very effective, got a good offensive line, and don't see a whole lot of weaknesses.
What's different about Dak from last year to this year?
I think the injury and then experience are probably the two biggest things. I mean, he was kind of beat up, I think, in the Texas A&M game last year and kind of carried that. And you can tell he's an extremely tough kid because, he's fought through an ankle injury. You see him limping in the Arkansas game, I think it is a little bit, but he just keeps pushing, going through it. And I think experience, he throws the ball much better than he did last year. Knows where he's going with the ball.
Given just the beat-up nature of Ole Miss's offense, is there a feeling inside your room that you guys have to be, really good Saturday, keep their score total pretty low?
We just approach it, try to hold people down as much as we can, no matter who we're playing, at what time, wherever it is. And our guys are trying to take pride and be stingy with points all year long. And I just try to emphasize that with them. And this is not a game where you have to really motivate them because, the way that we lost last year and, the state rivalry. And it's just an exciting time. The kids are really anxious to play in the game.
You watch a lot of their games this year, and Robinson, it just seems like, they get 3 or 4 defenders on Robinson.
Yeah.
He'll just kind of bounce off of them. I mean, how do you get at somebody, that big, that compact?
Yeah, I went back and watched him, our game last year and some games from last year when he was playing.
Yeah.
I think he was 34 last year, but low center of gravity, and I thought we tackled him extremely well last year, but I think you better gang tackle him. I mean, there's one play that comes to mind against Kentucky. I think he broke like 8 tackles, and he spun that way. It's a mindset with it. You can tell that he's determined to make positive yardage every time he touches the ball.
How important is it to keep Dak contained?
Well, I think the only people that's had success against him, from that standpoint was Alabama, and I think they, whether he had a bad day or Alabama had a good day, maybe a little bit of both, but, I thought that was real big, and they didn't let him be effective running the ball for the most part. Every once in a while, got a play in that game, but I thought they rattled him a little bit, threw 3 interceptions, and had a lot of pressure on him, just with their basic stuff. I mean, what they do defensively at Alabama.
How much does that Alabama game plan kind of give you an idea of what kind of stuff does work against them?
Well, you never want to give any of that away. You watch all the games, and we study them in the summer and do a breakdown on them, and several in the first 4 or 5 teams that we play throughout. So you use part of that, and then on both the open dates, we try to catch up with them for what they were doing this year. So I watched every play against them, this year and last year, and many times, so you got a pretty good idea of what you want to do defensively.
You talked about deception being a big part of Arkansas's offense. Is there much of that with Mississippi State?
I think it's more, I think in a lot of ways it's so similar to our offense as far as the scheme's concerned. What they do with a zone stretch, if you want to, and what they call a stutter read. But there's so much play action off of that stuff and getting over them. So what they do is they stretch you because they run the quarterback so much. And teams like that are, stretch a defense regardless of who you are, and can create problems for you. So you don't have the extra people that you might have in a less mobile quarterback.
Who's giving you a look this week in practice?
Kendrick Dawes.
Okay.
He gives us. He's always our scout team quarterback. And we can't put a Dak out there. We don't have a Dak, but Kendrick does a good job for us.
What have you seen from this team this week emotionally, frame of mind, after the Arkansas game?
Defensively, and I'm not around the offense as much, but I think, the guys are just more determined. I mean, we always come in here and talk on Sunday, and I know some of them mentioned, how close we've been, and I think they think about, the LSU and the Auburn game, and really the game the other day kind of just got out of hand. In a lot of ways it didn't reflect the score, but in other ways it did reflect the score.
Do you think that the players sense pressure for this game more than others?
Oh, I think everybody associated with it, every Ole Miss fan and every Mississippi State fan and player feels pressure. I mean, it's the pride of, you know, what you do. I mean, this is what we do as coaches and players, and I know it's important to the fans, but it's, I'll promise you it's a lot more important to us as coaches and players.